Hi, take two. The first one that I tried was in slow motion, and that was not good. So let me start over. Excuse me. So the hats that I'm making for the twins, I've run into a snag. I've already made a mistake. And this is what I've done. I cast on 33 to make the rectangle hat. And then once it's a rectangle, then you sew it together and then stitch up the ends and then roll up the brim. And that's gonna make a little baby hat. And I'm making the twins, a little girl and a little boy. This is the girls. I was going great guns. And I was almost, I think I'm just about halfway on this rectangle. And I set it down, went and did something. When I came back, I was in the middle of a row, and that is my problem. I try to have a rule that I never set something down in the middle of a row. But unfortunately, I forgot. I set it down, I came back. When I picked it up, I was on FaceTime with my granddaughter and wasn't paying attention. And I picked it up and I'm holding it and talking. And, you know, I don't know what I was doing. I holding it with this hand and then this hand. And then I decided to start knitting. And as I'm knitting, I'm going, wait a minute. This looks like it's the wrong direction. So I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, yeah, that's definitely the wrong direction. How did I do that? So I took 5 stitches off because they looked weird, turned it around, knit 2 more stitches, and I thought, no, that looks weird. That's not right. So I took those 2 stitches off, turned it back around, and dropped a stitch, I think. I'm not sure what I did. I just started knitting again. I started knitting, and then somehow this section looked really weird, and it looked like I had dropped a stitch. So I went in there. It just looks not very good. There's a couple of... So I went in there and I took a crochet hook and I tried to bring up that stitch and put it on my cord. When I did that, I went back and counted and I had 34 stitches instead of 33, what I was supposed to have. So I am not sure. See, this looks uneven. Yeah, maybe it's just the way I'm holding it. So I don't know if I've always had 34 stitches and I just miscounted at the very beginning, or if I messed up when I messed up. So I put ends on this and I put it down and I decided to cast on baby boys. And then his is with this color. I'm going to do this darker color. It's showing up darker on my phone than it actually is in person. It's a little bit more of a coffee with cream color. But I think the 2 together will look really nice when both twins have these on. It'll look kind of nice and kind of muted and what is that called? Like natural tones, maybe. So that's what I'm doing. I've started baby boys, and then, oh no, by picking that up, guess what I just did? I messed up. So I'm gonna I don't know what I'm gonna do. Shoot. That was a knit stitch. Oh, what direction does that go? I can't put something down. For some reason, I knit 1 stitch and then my dog started barking at somebody. And so I put it down to go over and have her stop barking. And now I've come back, picked it up, and I don't know what I'm doing. So thank goodness, all I've done was cast on. Which, looking by this, the cast on that I did is very sloppy. in person, I can't really see. I mean, I could see it's a little uneven, but when I hold it up and I look on the camera, I can tell it's very, very sloppy. So I'm going to do a different cast on. What I was going to do, I was going to take this, there's a cute little yarn shop down the street from me, and I was going to go in there and have the ladies teach me how to frog it back to before the mistake, and then I was going to then continue knitting since I've done almost half of it. But I think since that edge, I don't know if it's even going to matter since it's a hat and it's going to be sewn. That may not matter. I don't know. I'll have to decide. I may just go ahead and just redo this. I mean, it's not going to take very long, although it's just tedious. I know I always do this whenever I haven't knit for a really long time or crocheted for a very long time. I get tired really quickly and I get bored a little bit. And as I'm doing it, I'm going, oh my goodness, how do these people make these sweaters and blankets and hat, all the things that they're making? Because I get so tired just doing, just this many stitches. And I was just like, oh, I've got to put it down and take a break. What? People are making things every single day and they're turning out beautiful pieces of work, and they have collections of sweaters and I can't even get through this. So, but then after I've been knitting for a while, and then I kind of get into the groove of it, and then I can knit for longer or crochet for longer, and then it just becomes a second nature, and then I just start doing that. So that's what I'm doing there. In the meantime, my yarn came in for the summer top that I'm going to crochet, that Cinnamon Stitches did a test crochet on. I feel so bad. I can't remember who I bought the pattern from. If I remember, I'll try and mention it. But I used the yarn that was suggested, and it's the Elise Cotton Gold. And I bought the color. It took me forever to choose a color. It doesn't say a color on here. It took me forever to choose a color because I wanted the cafe au lait or the coffee with cream, and they only had one ball of that. So I had to find something that I had at least 3. And somehow, did I get 3 or 4? Yeah, I only got 3. So it says for the size that I'm going to make, I need almost 3 balls. So, but that's a real pretty color. I think this was called Dusty Pink or something like that. So I was afraid it was going to be too pink, but this is really more of a taupey gray color, which I really like. I think that'll make a really nice top. I need to hurry because summer's almost over. So I was going to get started on this last night when I got back to Kansas City, and I checked my mail and it was there. Searched all over the apartment for my crochet hooks, and guess what? I left those at home. So last night I went ahead and ordered more crochet hooks. They'll be here Friday, so I can get started on this then. I didn't really want to get a second set of the Clover hooks, but I thought it'd be really great if I had a set here at the apartment and a set at home, and that way I'm not traveling back and forth with it. I'll just make sure I always leave that set where it belongs. I got a different case. My original set is in the kind of greenish yellow with the pink trim. I think it came as a set from the Clover hooks. And I almost got the same thing. And I thought, I won't know which place it belongs to, if it belongs to the apartment, if it belongs to the house. So I just bought the hook set and then I bought a different case with flowers on it or something. So then that way I'll know that that one stays here in Kansas City. So I'll be able to get started on that. And I still need to be working on my $10,000 crochet with the granny squares. I don't know. I have probably 30 or 40 of the granny squares done. I think for the cardigan, I was needing 56 for just the main part and the back. And then I was going to put like a yoke band around the neck and around the front, and then the sleeves. And I was not going to do granny square sleeves. I was either going to knit or crochet just basic plain sleeves in the color that Emma ate. So I may not have enough yarn to do that. One of these days I saved the yarn that she ate and shredded up. And I mean, what was left was just in a big old pile with pieces. I don't know how she tore this up and ate it. At times I wish I had a video camera on her so I could watch her when I'm gone. So I have these squares, and that's what I was originally going to make, was a cardigan. But I have been looking at so many different things that you can do with the granny squares, like different tote bags or scarves. I mean, different things that you can make. So what I might do is, because I'm going to start getting too many projects going again, and when I do that, then I don't finish anything. So I am going to maybe turn those 40 squares into something else. So at least that way I'll have a finished product. I know it seems like, I mean, I could do a whole thing on how many whips I have. I try to put them in each one in a different bag. So when I look at my bag, I'll know, oh, okay, that is that. Well, that's what I think I'm going to do. Like I'll know, okay, this is my Constantino's bag. That's not even how you say it. Constantino. It's a grocery store here in the Kansas City area. I always called it Constantino's, but that's not correct. It's Constantino's. And so in theory, I'll go, oh, okay, I know that that's my summer my summer sweater in this. Well, I've got so many different bags with so many different projects, and now I have no clue what's in any of them. So I have to actually go through and look at it. I try to only keep the yarn and the needle that I'm using or the hook that I'm using in that bag, because if I take the hook out, I will have no clue what hook I'm supposed to be using. And I should really have a printed pattern in there, because I have gone through and I found some of my bags and looked, and where I've stopped, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what the pattern was. You'd think that I could get online and I'd go, oh yeah, that's this, but I can't ever remember the name of the person that I got the pattern from. It'd be helpful if I used Ravelry better and put my projects in there, or if there's any app that you know of that you can do that. I know there was an app here several years ago that you could keep up with your projects, you could keep up with your yarn count, like if you had to do different things on shaping, you could keep a count on there. And then they quit doing that app, so that's no longer. So if you know of a new one, let me know, and maybe I can use it. So, well, I haven't gone to my hair treatment. Today's Monday. I go again this Wednesday, and there's no pain right now. He did tell me that this next time was going to be a little bit more, I don't know, pain. He didn't say painful, but he's going to be a lot more aggressive, I guess. And so we'll see what happens. But I will report back. I don't know if anybody's going to watch this, but if you are, thank you for watching this. I watched a YouTuber this morning, and she was talking about how people were complaining that she talks about her life too much, and some of the things that she talks about shouldn't be talked about online. And she was very adamant in saying that people need to have a place to talk and have a voice. And I guess that's what I'm doing. I don't really have anybody to talk to, other than my daughter and my husband and my granddaughter. I mean, I have people to talk to, but I don't have that Lucy Ethel type relationship that I always wanted with somebody. Somebody that I could just sit and talk to and say anything. I mean, I can say anything to my husband, and I can say anything to my daughters, but sometimes I feel like they don't want to hear about my knitting. I mean, they're polite and they'll listen to it, but they're not into that. So this way I can talk about anything that I want to, and just kind of get it out there. So I hope you are having better luck with your knitting and crocheting, and that you're making some beautiful things.